My perception when I very first met you, and probably still now, is that Strom and the products that you do are very much aimed at athletes and not, let's say, regular gym goers.
Yeah. But I also include bodybuilders within that spectrum of athletes. I think people who take the thing
very serious.
People who take the thing they do seriously.
Yeah.
Because we can argue whether athletes are bodybuilders and bodybuilders are athletes all day long.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not, but they are as. I think this is the argument bodybuilders always make that they are athletes, is that they are as, if not more, dedicated than real athletes.
Yeah.
Which is totally valid, but they're still not athletes because they're not judged on their athletic ability.
Yeah.
But doesn't make it any less impressive.
No.
It's just not athletic.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But when most supplement companies, when they start, they kind of, I imagine, want to appeal to the widest kind of base possible.
Yeah, I think the perception is that if you appeal to the average gym bro, there's 20x, 30x of them versus serious people, and you can therefore cast a wider net.
Yeah.
The issue with that for me is that those guys are generally quite flighty, quite uninformed, quite happy to jump from the latest trend to the next. And additionally, the guys in the niche, if no one is paying attention to that niche, you kind of get it to yourself. That's not the case anymore, but it was the case when we started. There was nobody doing proper bodybuilding supplements for bodybuilders and powerlifters and strongmen when we started. There are now loads of great brands that we could reel off. Supplement Needs, Engineered Muscle, HR Labs, Trained by JP, so on and so forth. But we really were the first. We started about a year before Supplement Needs.
Yeah.
And we ended up on very similar trajectories, and they still, again, that niche has become even more focused as time has gone on. So Dr. Dean's Supplement Needs are very focused in on kind of like the science-based people who are really specific about what they want. And I think we're a little bit more meat and potatoes, a little bit more like guys our age. Our demographic is 30 to 50.
Yeah.
You know, so guys that work hard and just want their stuff to do what it needs to do. And as long as I tell them, as long as they don't necessarily want to know everything about what it does, they want to trust that we've done that bit for them.
Yeah. So when it comes to like product selection and stuff like that, obviously we're seeing all the time at the moment, things like everything's got creatine in it, everything's got electrolytes in it. Like a lot of brands very much kind of jump on what they think people will buy.
And all of their ambassadors then go, changing the game. And like, what the fuck are you talking about? This is shit that was out 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I get why brands do that.
Yeah, totally. It makes business sense, right? I'm not trying to slay people. But you've always kind of, not done the opposite, but brought out products that, like, you find interesting, or benefit you, either you specifically or stuff that you find interesting.
That has changed a little. There are commercial considerations. Yeah. But yeah, I always just made stuff that I wanted if I couldn't find it. And for a long time, I wouldn't make stuff if I could get it from someone else and it was good.
Yeah.
The cream of rice is a perfect example of, we had a distributor who were like, we want you to cream of rice. I was like, but there's like 10 cream of rices, it's boring. And they were like, okay, but if you make one, we will buy £10,000 a month worth minimum.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe we'll do that. And they're actually now buying probably £100,000 a month worth of that one product.
Yeah.
It's not innovative, it's not inventive, but I think we've done a really good job of the branding.
Yeah.
I think we've brought our experience to that. And we've also, I don't know if you're a cream of rice person, but we've done as good a job as anyone else has managed of flavouring. I would argue maybe slightly better.
Yeah.
So that's a bit of a break from what we've always done.
Yeah. And
I feel a bit dirty for it. But it has allowed us to do, the cash flow from the cream of rice is directly fed into the canned products. Yeah, which is innovative. So, like, you know, we've known each other for quite a while now. Like, too long. Yeah. Very much kind of like when I met you, you literally would bring out products that no one else was doing. Either it filled a specific need for you or something that a very niche part of the market would need. Hydromax being an example for like... Hydromax, yeah. I mean, I remember... Hydromax has kind of gone full circle because when we first brought it out, no one did electrolytes. Yeah. And it's not an electrolyte product. It's an osmolyte, it's a taurine product. It's not really an electrolyte, it's a hydration product. And everyone was totally cool with that. And then electrolytes became a thing about 3 years ago, where everyone was obsessed with them, even though they hadn't needed them for 30 years previously, unless they're a triathlete. And then people started to say, oh, but Hydromax isn't an electrolyte. And I was like, no, it's not the point. Did you salt your food today? Yeah, I salted my food. Then you don't need any electrolytes. And then I've been screaming for 3 years that you probably don't need any more sodium. The majority of people don't need additional sodium, especially if they're putting salt in their food, which you should because it's nice.
Yeah.
And then James Smith said you probably don't need any more sodium about 3 months ago, and everyone's now gone, probably don't need any more sodium. And finally that's come good.
Yeah.
The timing of it was fortuitous because it's with the release of the Hydromax cans.
Yeah.
Look, on-cycle support for people using PEDs, we did that first.
Yeah.
Cortisol management, we did that first. Lipid management, we did that first. We really did. So they were very much first. Support Max Joint wasn't first, but it was the first joint product you could take and be like, oh fuck, I can feel this.
Yeah.
One of the big barriers to entry with all of those products was the cost of production and the ROI inherent therein. The original 2 or 3 Strom products I actually pitched to a brand that I worked with 13, 14 years ago. And they said, oh, we wouldn't be doing any of those because there's not enough margin in it. If we're going to sell a product for £30, it can't cost us more than between £3 and £4.50 was God. But that was totally standard. Yeah. That was just the way it worked. I mean, bear in mind, this is back when protein used to be a few quid a kilo. Yeah,
you could get unflavoured protein for like £5 a kilo.
And that was the retail rate, right?
Get
it for less trade. So the supplement industry traditionally had made lots of money by pilot high, sell it cheap.
Yeah.
And almost fuck the customer. But at the time I was the customer and I wanted good stuff for me. Now I'm super happy to say that between us and probably Supplement Needs, the whole market changed to consumers. It would have happened anyway. We just got there a little bit earlier. To consumers wanting things that are actually good. Mm-hmm. And the consumer now is fairly well informed. Not as informed as they'd like to think sometimes, but reasonably well informed. And I think that's an overall positive. It means there's less money to make bullshit ad campaigns because the money's in the product.
Yeah. So when you're doing product selection now, like obviously where it used to be niche stuff for niche people or stuff that you want, and then you're bringing out products like you do the single ingredient range now, which you would never do before, because the cream rice and stuff like that. You try and have like, when you're thinking of it, of a balance between, right, well, this has good commercial availability of something that I want to do versus innovative, cool stuff that I want to do.
That's kind of an internal conflict thing at the moment. You're exactly right. It's a difficult balance to have because I just want to do the cool shit, right? I've got several distributors harassing me for a 500ml, like a Monster, bro, 500ml really fizzy energy drink can.
Yeah.
And it'd probably sell. And it would be cheaper to make than Hydromax. It'd be cheaper to make than Focus Max because it's just caffeine and flavour and fizzy water.
Yeah.
But it's boring. It doesn't excite me. It'll probably happen at some point, but I can't say I'm particularly fired up about it. And it'll probably sell better than either of these two because it's kind of what people are looking for.
Yeah.
But we had a meeting here the other day with iIngredient where we looked at a range of ingredients, but one of the ingredients was a trademark patented ingredient that supports prostate health and an increase in free testosterone.
Yeah.
Which for older TRT bros could potentially be a godsend, and the data is really good. I'm reviewing it at the moment. I don't get as much time to do that stuff as I used to, but I've got various reports from them to sit and read through. Stuff like that I think is really good. That's a thing that doesn't exist. It's a thing that is needed, particularly increasing free test along with prostate support in the same product for TRT bros in their 40s is phenomenal. But people won't get it. A few will.
Yeah. But again, I think it's as you become bigger, like God, how much is the business probably trebled in size since I first met you? Like, really, if you think, when I very first met you and we were having conversations, you were in...
Were we there? Or were
no, we... there, like the little one.
Oh, 5x.
Yeah.
5x. So it's trebled since, from when we first started in there to here, it's 3x.
Yeah.
It's 5x from when we were in that unit.
So it's quite a big thing to say it's been done on innovative products as well as, I understand, commercial thing that comes...
Yeah, the commercial stuff is really quite new. There's not really anything that was commercially prior to the cream of rice.
Yeah.
Not really. I'm trying to think. we did like glutamine by popular demand and stuff. And I mean, the glutamine was a really interesting example of, we did one reel to advertise it. I was like, hey, people buy glutamine for recovery, they buy it for this, they buy it for that. It's absolute crap for all of those things. It's quite good for your gut if you have digestive issues. Your stomach lining is primarily made of glutamine. It's unflavoured, it's cheap, you've got like 100 servings in a tub, buy it if you want to. That's it. It's one of our strongest sellers.
Really? I don't know.
And you can buy glutamine cheaper.
Yeah. But I suppose it's you've got brand now that goes along with it, that lends itself to. Which actually quite leads into the next point quite well. Obviously, it's never ever been easier for a start supplement company, which I imagine irks you, but I'm not going to go down that route. Obviously, one of the things that I do really like about you, as other smaller brands do come into the space, you give props to those that do. Like
every good brand selling good products is one more consumer buying a product and going, oh, I spent money on supplements and they did the thing they were supposed to do, I'll buy more supplements.
Yeah, rising tide all ships type thing.
Absolutely. And every customer being sold shit by someone like allegedly nutrition geeks. Allegedly.
Was that the collagen thing?
Oh, they do all sorts of shit.
Yeah.
They're doing a thing at the moment where it says allegedly 3,000 milligrams of ashwagandha on the front of the bag. Allegedly, Tariq says I have to say allegedly a lot. And it's sold as 3,000 milligrams of ashwagandha, but it's actually 250 milligrams of a 12-to-1 extract. If you read the small print.
Yeah.
And I get that labelling extracts as equivalent to is a thing. I still disagree with it.
Yeah.
But at least it's normally on the same panel. Yeah. But having the extract equivalent on the front, and then what it actually is on the back is deliberately disingenuous. Yeah. Stuff like that, as people buying something, I had ashwagandha. I've had people say to me, I bought ashwagandha, it didn't do anything. It turns out they were taking 100 milligrams of an extract or some bullshit like that. I think that's deeply unhelpful. So yeah, look, good people doing good stuff is great.
So let's say, obviously, they are. So let's say there's some small brands out there, probably one-man bands doing it themselves, but they're doing your products. You look at them and you think, well, actually, that's not bad, or it's a good take on stuff like that. Do you see any kind of trends of mistakes that they are made? Are the ones that you made?
So this is a thing that I talk about. Lewis Evans was with us earlier. I've talked to him about it. I don't know anything about washing machines. So I don't sell fucking washing machines. Yeah. I think one of the things that can happen, particularly with the advent of AI and all that stuff, is there are lots of people who are really good at marketing. Yeah. Lots of really good people who are really good at advertising. Yeah. So because they're good at marketing and advertising, the thing they're good at is marketing and advertising. Yeah. They don't really care what the product is. Yeah. So as a result, you'll have people that... So the bit I was shit at when I started was advertising, was marketing, was label design, was branding. I was bad at all of that. Yeah. But I know my product. Yeah. And I think what we're having now is where people are really good at marketing, branding, advertising, but they don't really know the product. And they're not particularly interested in learning about the product because it's irrelevant to them, because it's just a marketing. I can market and sell anything. Now, I mentioned Evitz before because I had that conversation with him. He was going to launch a product. And I said, look, that's not fucking brilliant. And fair play to him. Me and him went for a coffee. We sat down and I was like, look, we can make this good. So, yeah, but we need budget for marketing and blah, blah, blah. We went down and went through the process, and actually to make a good version of what you wanted to make, it was pennies different. Yeah. It's just having the expertise to do that. Yeah, yeah. Now, where we disagree is I turn around and say, well, if you don't know about something, don't go into that business, Yeah. I am open to the concept that if you're happy to pay for the right advice from the right people, you can go into a field that you don't know because you have a set of skills that allow you to sell it in that space. It's not the way I would choose to do things. I wouldn't go into a business that I don't know the core product. I think the thing is as well, and this is where Tariq will chew me out, and you tell me whether I'm right or wrong, but Tariq will say that because of my knowledge and background, the level at which I consider someone to know their stuff is perhaps higher than it needs to be. But I just think if you're building a brand, you should know fucking everything.
For me, personally, I think that if you were launching a product, you don't need to know everything about everything. But you need to know enough to be able to defend it to people who do.
AI allows people to be incredibly confidently wrong.
Yes.
Or it allows you to be informed by AI because it's what AI has told you, but you've not got the background.
Yeah, and there's the problem that it's like if you come up with something under questioning, if that then falls, then
I think the point I'm making is if you'd asked me 3 years ago, I'd have gone, if you don't know what you're doing, fuck off and don't do it. Yeah. Whereas that has become an understanding of, well, you know what, there are people that own car dealerships that don't like cars that do really, really well because they understand how to market to that space or whatever. I get it. I don't particularly love it, but I am more open to the idea that it's not the worst thing in the world, because the worst thing in the world are the people who are actively scamming. And it is a space where there are a lot of people actively doing it.
Yeah, I think that's it comes down to intention there, doesn't it, really?
Yeah.
If somebody like intentionally wants to do great products that help a space, but they're not necessarily lacking, then again, I think it's being able to hold their hands up at a certain point and go, actually, this is where my knowledge ends, but we'll plug those gaps. And I think that there has been a lot of brands that have done that. Like we both know ones where they've kind of gone, well, that was a classic example of actually, we'll kind of like fill that hole.
Yeah. I mean, look, we got stuff wrong in the early days on labels and label compliance, and we were brought down to earth with a bang by trade and standards.
Yeah.
I don't see a lot of that happening with these new brands because a lot of them are not based at a location that pays business rates, that pays PAYE.
It doesn't seem to be applicable at all. Like we send stuff to each other all the time regarding...
I get so much shit from trading standards.
Yeah.
But we pay council tax and we're on their records and they can come see us.
Yeah.
They can walk in here anytime. They can turn up right now and be like, right, we want to look at this, this and this.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're like an internet brand and you sell it out your mum's garage and all of that's fine, even from conversation with trading standards, like, well, it's hard to enforce. Like, yeah, I get that, but that doesn't mean that we just don't.
Yeah, like... And it's not just small brands either that do it. Like I've sent you stuff recently by big brands that we both know that have literally got an ingredient that's on the novel food list. Where like I had to check with you because I saw it and it was by a big brand. Like, and I was thinking, I must have got this wrong. Like, you know that it is, and you were like, absolutely.
But it's whether they, you know, and there are certain ingredients that I know for a fact are novel that no one cares about because they're not stimulatory.
One thing that I'm interested in talking about is we talk about like smaller brands and stuff like that who are great at marketing, who are literally they are marketing companies that have a product, not product companies that are doing marketing, where you were always product first.
Yes. Interestingly, Ferrari said that when I went to Ferrari.
What did their product first?
They said that we are a lifestyle and marketing brand that happens to sell cars.
All right, okay. I would have thought it would have been the opposite of the
Ferrari is all about the lifestyle.
Yeah.
McLaren said we're an engineering company that happen to sell cars.
Yeah.
Which is why McLarens are better but less desirable, in my opinion.
So obviously you're a bit like, you know, the smaller brands who marketing and, you know, go and help for leather.
And some of them really do a fucking mind-blowingly good job of that. But sometimes at the expense of integrity. Yeah.
Where you're obviously like, you know...
We've still not done a single paid ad.
Yeah. How do you find, like, is still the majority of your customer acquisition, would you say that's through recommendation and word of mouth? Because, like, you still do marketing, but compared to other companies, like, you know, who we're doing...
We send one email every 3 months.
Yeah.
We do no paid ads. Obviously, I do loads of content on social media.
Yeah.
But that's it, really.
Yeah.
What I will say is that if I had to play this game now, I couldn't. If you like erase Strom from history and I had to launch a brand today, I wouldn't be able to do it. We were in the right place at the right time. There was a gap. There isn't a gap now. It's been filled by lots and lots of people. It's become a very competitive space. We were first. We've got like the Hoover effect.
Yeah.
You know. But that would be a really hard thing to pull off now, because we would have to rely on those marketing levers to show people why we're different. Now, back in the day, I only had to do one post on Instagram, one story or one post. We've got new Hydromax cans coming out, and at the time, I think up until about 10,000 followers, when Instagram was a very different place, I could do a post and every single one of those followers would see it. Every person that came in the shop for the next week would be like, oh, I saw that you're launching that new Creamax or whatever. Every single person that followed you would see it. No paid ads, all organic. I'm looking now if a story gets 300, 400 views, unless something controversial has happened in the story before, or whatever, or there's an event going on, like when the Abs was on, our story views are up, or when Grapplemax is on, story views are up, or when the PCA finals or the Arnolds, whatever. But you know, as a general rule, so you can't now rely on that. But that's what I built the brand with. Yeah. So I wouldn't know where to start now. You would have to do the kind of stuff that people like. We'll have to find the links for it. But Evitz runs a marketing brand, and he does that for. That's the thing he does for other brands. Because I wouldn't know what to do. Yeah.
It's just a case of, like I said, being in the right place at the right time. So then, when it comes to like product selection, obviously a lot of these companies are picking it based, like we said, on trend,
Yeah.
or their ability to market it.
I think the problem with trends, if you're following a trend, you are fundamentally late.
Yes, because you were not the one who's coming with it.
Like, how long ago were we talking about creatine? Cortisol is a big thing on Instagram at the moment, cortisol management. We brought out Neuro 9 years ago. We were the world's first cortisol management tool.
Yeah.
If you're following a trend, you are already late.
Oh, yeah. So when you're looking at product selection now, is there like criteria that it must meet commercially for you to start doing it? Like,
no, not at all. If it's innovative and it's cool, as long as I can not lose money, then that's fine. If it's not innovative and cool, then yes, there's commercials. But but it's not a fact. And the thing, look, we're an independent business. I don't have a board. I don't have shareholders. I don't have investors. There's one shareholder other than me, and it's Evelina.
Yeah.
And I don't justify shit to her. So as long as I want to do it, and the commercials aren't insane, it'll happen. If I don't want to do it, the commercials have to make a lot of sense.
Have there been any products that you've brought out and you thought this is going to be a home run, like this is going to be crazy good, and it's just not landed, or you were too early with it, for example, like, or anything like that? Or a slow burn or something.
Anthocyanins. 5 years time, they'll be huge.
Yeah.
The longevity stuff, Fundamentum, I was probably a year early with that.
Yeah.
And by the time everyone else was making noise, I'd stopped.
Yeah.
Or Trend Standards also made us take the NMN out of it and change it for a NR.
Yeah.
They do the same thing, but the consumer's looking for NMN because David Sinclair told them to.
Yes.
So yeah, Fundamentum still sells and it's still reasonably popular, but it never took off in the way I thought it would.
Yeah.
And I look at other products that have taken off in that space. This is what I'm saying about I couldn't do what I did today. Fundamentum is a better product than 90% of those other longevity products out there. It's more intelligently formulated. The price is completely reasonable, but it doesn't have that marketing clout.
Yeah.
And in the longevity space, who the fuck is that guy, right? No one knows who I am.
Yeah.
So I haven't got those levers that I can pull.
Yeah.
You know, the Hydromax has gone massive in the BJJ space.
Yeah.
If I had launched it 3 years ago when I was totally new, I don't think it would have.
Yeah.
But I've now got my fingers into enough corners of BJJ.
You built a community around it to launch it too. Have you ever had a killer product that you loved because it just didn't make commercial sense? Like, you brought it out, it's there, and you thought, and it just doesn't sell for whatever reason.
Mint choc chip Velocaway.
All right, okay.
It's a flavour, it's not a product.
Yeah.
I don't think we've got any deadlines. Maximizers probably might phase out of existence one day.
Which is weird to me, because I always think that Maximize would be one of the things that people would jump on.
I mean, we need to talk about it again. Maybe I'll do some content around it this week, actually. I haven't in a while. The Maximize exists, for those of you who don't know, and we don't make this about supplements particularly, but it became really trendy to put black pepper extract and
everything
in everything. And those things inhibit drug metabolizing pathway CY3P2A, CYP342A. I think it's CY3P2A. Enzyme within the body that's designed to excrete drugs from your system. And then estrogen engorges the villi in your stomach, so you absorb more of certain things. So it sounds great for supplements, right?
Yeah.
But people also take prescription medication. People also take heart medication. People take painkillers. People take sleeping tablets. People take all sorts of stuff that you don't want to fuck with the absorption of.
Yeah.
So just throwing that into every product willy-nilly, milli-vanilli, never made any sense to me. Even though it's trendy, just didn't make any sense to me. So we launched it in a standalone product. If you're taking 6 supplements, you still only need the same amount of aspirin and bioperin. You can just take the one, but also you don't have to if you don't want it. So that just made sense to me. But the populist movement was just, we'll just fuck it into everything.
Yeah. It was the old electrolyte or the old crazy.
It is exactly the electrolyte. And the electrolyte thing, people, I mean, me and you had a back and forth on Instagram the other week. Because you were like, how many electrolytes do you have in a day? And I was like, well, it depends what my food's been like.
Yeah.
You're like, well, people don't understand that. I was like, how do you...
Yeah.
Like, for example, I am on a diet plan, and I'm not doing tracking, I'm doing a structured plan because I prefer to not have to think about it.
Yeah.
But my pre-workout meal is cream of rice with some honey and some whey.
Yeah.
Light on the stomach, whatever. But that meal is not savoury.
Yeah.
So I have a sodium-containing electrolyte on the way to the gym because the meal before training is sodium-free.
Yeah.
That to me is not a complex concept.
No.
But according to you, it's too complex for some people.
I wouldn't say it's not too see. I didn't want to get dragged into this. It's not that it's too complex for people. It's that if we look at like baseline knowledge of what people's knowledge are, they just don't have that knowledge, and haven't.
I think a great way of fixing this problem would be to stop calling them electrolytes and start talking about salt intake, like we used to back in the day. Because actually, no one's tracking their electrolytes anyway. They just go, I've had a scoop. They're tracking the amount of electrolytes they've had by scoop. No one's tracking their milligrams of whatever.
No, especially when it comes to electrolyte balance, for example, that no one talks about, like versus potassium. And
I think most people benefit from supplementing potassium and not bothering with sodium if they're eating normal person food. But that would be the way to. I think you just talk about sodium, or you need to make sure you have some sodium before you train, or like an electrolyte. Well, maybe. Yeah. But maybe not. It depends, you know. My last meal was chicken and rice, which was all seasoned. Yeah.
So actually, when it comes to like say the public's perception of supplements or their lack of an accurate perception of supplements, probably the best way to do it. What do you think the biggest misconceptions they have when it comes to, let's say, formulation and the cost of producing something? Because I think that a lot of people think that literally you just went like for Hydromax, right? We'll get this electrolyte, well, not electrolyte, but I'm sorry, coconut water, we'll get taurine, we'll do this, so we'll put it together. But it's like the 9th version of it or something?
Yeah, there's a couple of things here. So public perception, we've got two ends of the spectrum of this. Yeah. We've got people who are relatively informed, and we've got people who are completely uninformed. Yeah. Oftentimes people who are uninformed know just enough that there's certain things they might be looking for. I think you're going to struggle to do that, baby. So they then look for, oh, well, this one's got 14 ingredients. Yeah. Like I formulated a multivitamin for a brand recently. They're like, oh, we just need more like 32 ingredients in it. I was like, no, there's 20, that's what you need. Like, no, but on Amazon, their research has shown that the average consumer is shopping by number of ingredients as their primary metric. More better.
More equals better.
More equals better, right? Because it's a multivitamin, so the more things it covers.
More multi.
The other end of the spectrum is people who are actually quite well informed. And they like this term clinical dose. And Vascumax is the perfect example of this. So Vascumax, people love to turn around and go, oh, that product's no good, the panel on that's no good, because the ingredients aren't clinically dosed. Yeah. Like the citrulline is 4 grams, citrulline malt is 4 grams, the beetroot extract is a couple of grams, the various ingredients in there are below what's called the clinical dose. But the clinical dose is based on that ingredient used in isolation.
Yes.
So if you've got, let's relate this to pushing a car. The clinical dose of human to push my Defender, if it's broken down, is 1 Aaron hair. Yeah. Right?
Who's a very large gentleman.
Very large gentleman. But if you've got 3 Mike Lengs, they'll also achieve the same amount of force generation as 1 Aaron hair. Yeah. If you had 3 Aaron hairs, you wouldn't go any faster because you're only trying to push the car at a certain speed anyway. The car will only be pushed along.
Yeah, you get like a diminished return of Aaron hairs?
Yes. No, that's exactly it. Yeah. And in fact, if we were to imagine that we are, in this scenario, we're pushing the car to try and bump start it, we need to achieve a velocity of 5 miles an hour. Yeah. As long as we achieve a velocity of 5 miles an hour, no additional force is going to be beneficial. Yeah. And that's the way it works with a lot of ingredients. Yeah. So when we try and boost up arginine, so arginine is the bit in your bloodstream that converts to nitric oxide, we do so by increasing citrulline levels. If you take arginine, it's destroyed in the gut. It's too fragile. So you take citrulline, citrulline converts to arginine, arginine converts to nitric oxide. The quicker and more aggressively you push up arginine, the more your body also produces an enzyme called arginase. And the function of that is to break down nitric oxide. So the more Aaron hairs we have pushing, the more you have immigration officers coming the other way and sending them back. That's almost a perfect analogy, except Aaron hairs from Birmingham.
We love you, Aaron.
But that is fundamentally the disparity, because you have armchair formulators who have taught themselves on ChatGPT, or you know what, some of them are very well researched, and often that's the thing that I find they don't consider. They don't consider the synergy of, oh well, we've got 3 ingredients there that are all pushing up nitric oxide via the enos pathway. So actually, we don't need the clinical dose of the 3 of them because they're all doing the same thing. Yes. And this actually applies to a lot of formulations. Way more formulations than people would think of. If you've got multiple ingredients trying to do the same thing, you don't necessarily need. Same with stimulants, right? Oh, that pre-workout's got 300 milligrams of caffeine. That pre-workout's got 400 milligrams of caffeine. That one's stronger. Well, it depends on what the ingredients are. You know, I can make you a really strong pre-workout with no caffeine. It's called cocaine.
Yeah.
Wouldn't recommend you take it.
No.
But you see what I mean? So those are the two ends of the spectrum that we end up with. And actually the majority of the consumers in the middle are like, you as a brand are trustworthy.
Yes.
So I'm just going to assume that this is good. And that's a dangerous position to be in. You don't ever abuse that position.
Yeah. So one thing Strom does differently to other brands is sponsored athletes and influencer marketing and stuff like that. A lot of brands generally do. You have massive following or you are famous in some way, please use our products. You have always kind of been not anti that, but have a very different...
I think it's massively more valuable getting someone like Chloe Brennan, who is a relative unknown, and supporting them to the point where they're world famous, and you've been part of that journey. And obviously you have to know the sport, you have to know what you're looking for, you have to know who to back. But we've had quite a few people, you know, like Soph, you know, phenomenal athlete at the Olympia. We've been there for years. Tofton's a pro now. Who else have we got? There's pros now.
Josh Maley's. I know he's retired.
Neil Andrews. You know, we worked with Neil for years and years and years. I just think that's more valid and more valuable. What I'm also finding, you know, we were talking before about how the levels of engagement on Instagram have dropped through the floor. I don't find, so there was a time many years ago when James Hollingshead did some content about our stuff, and it was so good for us. But it was at a time when Instagram was very different. And you saw, I followed James for years. I couldn't tell you the last time I saw one of his posts. You know? Whereas back then you would see everything that you posted. I think just because the total amount of stuff being posted was less.
Probably.
You know? So that's been a big change. I don't think there is an influencer in the world that we could throw a load of money at and it would immediately return. Maybe a Rogan or someone. Maybe.
So a bit of something then. So you get, like, I know that I get a lot of messages of people wanting to be sponsored. So I can only imagine, and I've seen some of the messages that you get when it comes to people wanting to be sponsored. And generally, every single person goes about it the wrong way. Like,
buy some products, tag us in some stuff. The best thing you can do, buy some shit, tag us in it. Welsh Italian Fitness has just done it. He's obviously not looking for a sponsorship, but he's bought some product the other month. He's bought it again. He did a story before about, oh, these are good. And then he's just in a video saying, honestly, these are fucking sick. I'm buying them out my own money. Not that I need everyone to buy for me to stand a chance of being sponsored. But it's just so much more valid.
I think it's the first step. Like, if you've never bought anything,
you know, try and come to an event we're doing. You know, again, logistically, that might not always be possible. Some people in other countries, but try and support the brand. Try and understand a little bit about what we are. And then, if you post about the Hydromax cans, and I get a massive spike in sales, I'll ask you. Now, the fact is, 99% of the time that doesn't happen because most people are not as influential as they think they are. But if that were to happen, I'd be after you. You know?
One thing I said, like, I did a post on this the other day, where the bones of it basically were how I always say to people when they come to me for sponsorship is that I don't sponsor anybody regardless. Even if Joe Rogan messaged me, I would not sponsor Joe Rogan. But what I would say is, everyone pays full price, but for every person that you bring me, I'll knock 10% off. You bring me 10%, 10 people, you're free for life. Like, not once has anybody ever come, either A, no one's ever took me up on it. And secondly, no one's ever, my point with the post basically was that if you came to a brand and said, look, I want to be sponsored by you, this is what I am proposing to do. Something along the lines of, like, you know, give me a way to track sales or orders when I have given you.
So this is what a lot of brands do. A lot of brands do influencer marketing, whereby it almost doesn't matter who you are. You can be an ambassador and affiliate for several brands that I'm involved with, and it's almost irrelevant who you are as long as you generate sales. That's never going to work with Strom. Because it's my mates. I fucking haven't got a clue why you're in there. But it's my mates and it's people that I value.
I didn't even know I was in there. Like,
so
for a long time.
It's people that I want to talk to. So that's almost more important. But with a lot of brands, you're absolutely right. If you can just show that you'll generate sales, then they'll give you an ambassador program. Even if you can't, because it costs them. Some of these ambassador programs are just, you get a 5% kickback on sales. The customer gets a 10% discount. They'll set that up for you. And if you don't ever generate a sale, it doesn't ever cost them anything. That's not really what we do. We don't pay anyone. We don't do paid ads. We don't do kickbacks. We don't do any of that. But at the same time, if you turn around and say, fucking look, I've qualified for the Olympia.
Yeah.
Can I pay for your flights?
Yeah.
You know, to support the thing that you're doing.
Yeah.
But no one is generating us so many sales that it's a job.
No.
And I would say the people who get the closest would be the coaches.
Yeah. Like
not the athletes. And I realise that's fucked.
Yeah.
Like, that's the wrong way round, but it's the way it is.
I think it's because we're like, it's becoming more so like in my market now. It wasn't for a long time, but definitely in bodybuilding where it's like the era of the coach. There is a lot of coaches and good ones basically like, you know, if we take Joe Jeffrey, for example, like if Joe says something, like there's very rare that if Joe says something, I will go, well, like I will trust basically whatever Joe says.
Yeah.
Like, and I think it's like if they work with someone and they say, right, like, you know, Joe was an advocate of your products for years and years before even you sponsored them and stuff, that I think people will just go, right, I will buy that purely because I have the trust of that coach. Speaking of like good people and things like that, has there ever been any point in all of your journey where anybody's made an introduction for you that's made like a big difference to the business? So
there's been people. So sponsoring people, this leads into this, is always a weird thing because like if I never sponsor someone, they tend to remain supporters of the brand. The few sponsored athletes I've had to part company with have ended up hating me. Telling people, I fucking hate that guy, he's a fucking asshole. I was like, all I did was give you free shit for a period of time. And then at some point say, this isn't worth it for us anymore. And there are 3, and 2 of them have been fucking vile about me. And one of them I had to part ways because things had happened whereby we couldn't be associated with them as a brand. And the other one, he just kind of lost interest in the sport that he was doing. And he was pursuing a lot of alternative interests that didn't really align with what we do. Nothing personal, just that, this probably doesn't make sense anymore. The message I got, like, you know, this isn't how you support your friends when they're going through a tough time. And you're like, listen, if I'd never given you free shit, you wouldn't be pissed off with me now. I'd still be the guy you're trying to be mates with. It's amazing how quickly people go from being incredibly grateful that you're supporting them to incredibly entitled to then resentful if you decide not to. It's fucking mad. So people that Christians had a really positive impact on the business. Joe, I think a lot of the coaches get you into markets that maybe you don't speak to personally. But back in the day, Luke Sandow, James Hollingshead, Ben Chow, and to a slightly lesser extent, Anth Bales and JP. They all did a podcast together, and they all talked about the original Support Max. They talked about Bastimax, talked about Stimax. That was at a time when there was nothing else in the market. Trained by JP and stuff didn't exist yet. And they did more for the brand. Every time I speak to James, every time he orders, I'm like, tell me what you need. It doesn't cost you anything. Because he did more for the brand than anybody else. Because at the time he hadn't really talked about any other brands, and he just started using a few of our bits. He was a customer and went, this stuff's fucking brilliant, you should all try it. And at the time, that really carried weight because there were so few independent brands. Has there ever been anyone on not from like the fitness side, but like from the business side, you know, where you know, like someone's made an introduction and you've got good relationships with somebody in like manufacturing or distribution? I mean, we had a conference here the other week for ingredient manufacturers and contract manufacturers. And I think the thing that I've somehow done well, which is wild, because, you know, you said before, you talk about me being a loose cannon.
In a nice way.
I know everybody. And like, there's a brand the other day I had to speak to about, I needed a discount off their products for us to carry the stock because there's been a significant range of price increases. And Evelina said, look, can you please speak to them and see if there's anything you can do on price? I literally just got my phone out and sent a voice note and said, all right, dickhead, this is fucking well expensive. I'll have a pallet, but I need 10% off. There are very few people, I realise I'm wanking myself off, but there are very few people that can pull that off. And that's because I never have an overly formal relationship with anyone. People know they can say what the fuck they want to me and I'm not going to cry about it. And it works both ways. So we've been super lucky that we know lots of people, but I'm in that position now where I can introduce a lot of people to a lot of other people. We've been given introductions by people that have been catastrophic. We've been introduced to people, this guy'll sort you out for all manner of things, manufacture, ads, that kind of stuff. And people massively oversell people that they have no right to do so.
Yeah. You know. Has there ever been anything that's like, as you've got inside from, say, like saying, you know, from doing a couple of $100,000 in turnover, doing $1 million turnover to where you are now, is there anything that you've identified as like a bottleneck that's slowing down growth? Like where you think, actually...
So we've never leveraged debt.
Yeah.
And I have been told by multiple people, multiple business mentors, that that's a mistake.
Yeah.
We've never leveraged debt. We've never over leveraged on stock.
Yeah.
We have grown at the rate that I can grow with cash flow that we've generated.
Yeah, yeah.
That's probably a bottleneck.
Yeah.
I'm probably a bottleneck. The fact that we operate such a small team is probably a bottleneck. The fact that we don't do any paid ads.
Ludicrously small team.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I know we've had this conversation before, but I wouldn't, you've got
Four.
Yeah. 4 members of staff on the site. Like, I know one of them is has ruthless Swedish efficiency.
Yeah. Well, the other one has become a clone of her.
Oh, right, okay.
They are the same creature now.
They're literally, like, I suppose, like the equivalent of 8 people.
I do miss, you know, Azza used to work with us full time, and me and Azza used to kind of side quest.
Yeah.
And I would get these ideas, and a lot of these ideas are not coming to fruition now. Because I would be like, oh, I want to do, I want to do protective covers to put on your bananas in your meal prep bag.
Yeah, yeah.
And Azza would go away, and he would spend 4 days of payroll time to do it.
Yeah.
But he would indulge my bullshit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No one does that at the moment, and that makes me sad.
Yeah.
Azza was really, really good at that. And maybe at some point I need Dan Hipkins was doing a lot of that stuff for a little while, but he's now found a girlfriend. There's only certain people that can tolerate me. Those two do a really good job of it. But that's a job where, like, you know, if Dan or Azza turned around and said, right, can you justify paying me full time to do that?
Yeah.
Not really, because it's mostly just indulging my nonsense, but I really miss it.
Yeah, it's a nice thing. And I suppose some of it does lead to...
No, quite often it does.
Things. Yeah, yeah.
Quite often it does. I mean, like the Hydromax cans, I've been knocking that idea about for a year and a half.
You were talking about doing, even before you moved to that unit over there, Neuro in a can.
Yeah.
We had that discussion a few times.
Yeah,
like,
well, tell Dan that, because he likes to pretend that he invented Hydromax cans. Well, no. So this idea was ready to go.
Yeah.
And Dan was here around Christmas. I was like, I'm just really stressed. What are you stressed about? I was like, well, I want to do this can idea, and I think if I don't do it soon, I'm going to miss the window. But I need to find a cannery that is happy to work with free onboarded ingredients. Yeah. I need to find a supplier for coconut water, and I haven't got the time. And he was like, well, I'm literally a bum, so I can do those things. So I paid Dan to join the dots.
Yeah.
You know, these are the things that I need, and I need them all to coherently work together. And he set that project up, and he did a really good job of it. That now is just a case of, like, I ring the powder manufacturer, I need a run of this many of this flavour. They get delivered to the cannery, the coconut water lands at the cannery, the labels come from the label guys, and it all just works now. But the setup of that was just a level of plate spinning that I couldn't be fucked with. So Dan came in and did that as a consultant, I guess.
Is there anything that you see other brands doing, ones the size of you or bigger or smaller, doesn't matter, that you think is a complete waste of time and don't understand why they do it?
Ben, I love you. Creatine sherbet. Just fuck off. Creatine in protein bars. Creatine in anything that isn't soluble.
It's
solubilized in water. Creatine needs to be solubilized in water. And I remember saying to Tariq the other day, Tariq was like, well, I've never heard you talk about this before. I was like, there's literally videos of me from 5 or 6 years ago saying, in a perfect world, you'd have it in warm water so it fully solubilizes. I
think we've talked about, like, even dry scooping quite a few. I'm sure there's content where we've had whinge about dry scooping.
Look, dry scoop pre-workout, fine. Dry scoop your creatine, no. So that's the thing. I've seen creatine protein bars at the moment. It's super. But creatine's just become a buzzword. People don't really care as long as it's in them. I think a lot of brands are trying to create artificial scarcity by pretending to be out of things. And I think that's super transparent. I think people can see it a mile off.
Seems to me as though you'd be wasting sales, because, like, if let's say I used, let's say you didn't use EAs, you didn't produce them, whatever, and I used X brand, and they were like, we're out of EAs, we've completely ran out. I'd be like, all right, well, I'll just go and get EAs from somewhere else. Like, you know what I mean?
We are going to be out of Hydromax, and creating a bit of a back order list is nice. If it's a product only you make. But if it's not a product only you make, it becomes more problematic. I think the logistics of supplements are pretty easy, right? They're not perishable. They're not particularly big volume. They don't need loads of space. They don't need super tight temperature control. If you fuck up the logistics of a supplement company, you're just bad at your job.
Yeah.
We get constantly positive feedback. Your delivery service is amazing. I ordered at 3 o'clock and it's here tomorrow. It's like, yeah, that's how it should be.
Yeah.
You know, like you order from Amazon this morning, you'll get it this afternoon. Like we can't do that.
Yeah, yeah.
But if you put an order in, we can put it in a box and send it that day.
Yeah,
and in fact, I'm not a big fan of AI, as you know.
Yeah.
We use an AI-based shipping consolidator.
Yeah.
So that used to be a person's job. Obviously, Azza went for a full-time, a real job one day. So it used to be that either Azza or Hannah or Evelyn would have to sit down for about 4 hours and do all the orders. You know, well that's going to Newcastle, so that needs to go with Parcel Force because APC there is shit.
Yeah.
That's drinks, that needs to go with these. That's going over the border, so that needs to go DHL, whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
And you would have to manually enter every single order.
Yeah.
We now have a program that you come in the morning, you press go, and not only does it assign every order to where it's supposed to go, but it books them in with all of the different couriers and prints out all of the labels in a wanna. So you end up with like literally, we did it the other day where it ran from there.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
But the program just does that.
That's
so it takes all the data from Shopify, uses a set of rules that Evelyn's programmed into it to decide where stuff goes, and then literally books each courier in a row, prints the labels out. It's all automated. I don't know how it works. I now can't print labels in my own business.
Yeah.
That is the kind of thing that I think AI should be, right? Rather than a human sitting there for 4 hours, that's what AI is great for.
Like grunt work, isn't it? Like removing, like, you know, grunt work. Okay, so last thing. The general thing for growth of a supplement company seems to be, to me, outside looking in, is make new products, sell new products.
You can't sell what you don't have.
Yeah.
The more SKUs you have.
Yeah.
If I've got 5 flavors of Hydromax.
Yeah.
And I launch another 5 flavors.
Yeah.
I won't sell twice as much, but I'll scale up.
Yeah.
If I've got 3 flavors of Systomax, and I launch a 4th flavor, I won't sell 25% more Systomax.
No.
Because the people who are buying Systomax are buying it because they need Systomax.
Yeah.
And the flavors are bonus.
Yeah.
But you're not instantly getting more sales by having more flavors.
Yeah, you're not
So it depends
unlocking-
on your market.
Yeah.
If you're selling protein, if you're selling pre-workout, if you're selling EAAs.
Yeah.
Scaling through flavors is super useful. The more flavors you have, the more product you'll sell, generally.
Yeah.
But with essential supplements, Lipid Max, Cystol Max, Neuro, stuff that people are taking because they really need it or they've got a real defined use, you will sell the amount that there is demand for that type of product for.
Yeah.
And the flavors is just a nice bonus that maybe stops people looking elsewhere because they don't get bored as easily.
Yeah.
I think that's the fundamentals for the majority of what we do.
Yeah.
Everything else is probably to do with like marketing and influencers and stuff I don't have anything to do with. I am involved with Beast Farm.
Yeah.
Beast Farm have a marketing person.
Yeah.
They have an e-com person.
Yeah.
They have loads of metrics. They do all that stuff. I don't get involved with it at all.
Yeah.
That brand is scaling way faster than Strom ever scaled.
Yeah.
I think because they are doing all of that right. And it definitely has value. I'm just not the guy that can tell you about it.
Yeah. So as far as Strom goes in the direction that it's going to over the next 3 years, obviously pre-made like ready to RTDs, ready to drink, have come part of it. Is it going to go more that way? Have you got an idea of where you would like to go? Like
we've been asked about bottles. Bottles are a logistical pain because it's just number of SKUs you have to hold, right? Yeah. I still have stuff I want to do in proper supplements.
Yeah.
These are a really nice complement too. And these have increased exposure of the rest of the brand, so the rest of the brand is growing off the back of increased exposure from the drinks.
Yeah.
So I think the two have synergy. I think they go hand in hand. I'm really enjoying with the cans as well, having an excuse to go to events and turn up and do a little bit of what I used to do.
Yeah. Are you looking to put them in like in shops and stuff like that, or is it literally going through distributors and?
They're in loads of shops at the moment and loads of gyms. The problem is, as we discussed before, the Hydromax is expensive to make. There's not a huge amount of margin for it. So people like Co-op and Tesco and Asda and stuff, it's a hard sell. I'd certainly be interested in having those conversations with them, but they would need to be in a position where they're like, oh, well, we'll take 100,000 and they get delivered straight to them. Yeah. Because we are close to logistically full.
Which is, how long have you been here? 2 years? 18 months?
1 year.
1 year, is that all it is? God, I'm sorry.
It's only the drinks that have changed that.
Yeah.
Because, so we've got 100,000 cans, 40,000 cans of Focus Max, 60,000 cans of Hydromax coming in 4 weeks. There's loads of stuff I'd love to do that I can't because it's all against regulation that loads of people are doing. And I would love to get the drinks going in the US and some other territories. Quite busy as it is though.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not like you have loads of extra time.
So no, I think the whey market's going to be really interesting over the next 12 months. I think we, the argument for whey has always been, well, it's cheaper than food. Not so much anymore.
Yeah.
It
did this before, didn't it? Was it when COVID where it went ballistic before? I know it goes up and down.
Yeah, no, it's on the way up beyond that now.
Way up. Has there ever been a point where you've been like having stuff manufactured or doing it with a business that you didn't realise it was going to be a problem until it was like upon you? Like, I'm trying to think of a specific example that I can use of something that you didn't realise it was going to be a big problem for the business before it was happening.
Not a big problem. Like these, we use NAC L-tyrosine and its sediments, and I didn't think it would matter.
Yeah.
Most people don't care, but some people do care.
Yeah.
So we use regular tyrosine, so we've changed to NAC L-tyrosine, to why the peach one is perfectly clear.
Yeah.
And the previous one is slightly cloudy. It's not ended up being a big deal. It could have been a big deal if I dug my heels in and gone, no, this is the way it has to be.
Yeah.
But we've changed to NAC L-tyrosine, no one's really bothered.
Has there ever been a point in the business where it could have come unstuck, where you took a gamble and it worked out? You hear about a lot of a few businesses, like not all businesses, but sometimes people where they could have gone, we had path A, path B, and they managed to pick the right one.
I think the biggest thing that I could have got wrong is if we'd gone too heavy, if we'd over-invested in stock, you would then end up with those brands where you're like, shit, we've got X amount of thousands of pounds of this, we've got to get rid of it.
Yeah.
And you start doing silly offers and it's a race to the bottom. I'd love to give you some. You would think after nearly 20 years of this, certainly 12 years of it in its current form, and the turnover we have, that I'd be able to give you some specific examples of when stuff's really hit the fan.
Yeah.
It hasn't. We had a batch of Stimumax. It was made on like one of the hottest days of the year, maybe in 2018.
Yeah.
And it all turned to rocks.
Yeah.
And rather than just immediately, when there was a problem, recall it all and reject it and try and replace them. I tried to write it out, like, well, if anyone complains, we'll replace it. But these things happen and stuff like that. Now I would just immediately like, well, it happens because it was really fucking hot the day it was made.
Yeah.
And we would just replace it, right? Yeah. But a lot of that is down to the cash flow available at the time.
Yeah. So stock's a good example, which I imagine is one of the hardest things to kind of get right when it comes to forecasting and stuff.
There's about £500,000 of stock in there.
Yeah,
which is a lot.
Yeah.
But it's also a lot less than a lot of brands carry because we do have good relationships with our manufacturers.
Yeah.
And they do mostly allow us to do either call-off runs where maybe we'll make 5,000 or something, but we'll call off 1.5 or 2,000 at a time. Or we'll free on board raw ingredients to do smaller runs. And we've got over 50 SKUs. Like if we tried to carry 5,000 of every SKU, we'd be so in the hole it would be almost impossible to recover.
So when you're doing like new stuff, like if we take I'm not going to use the Hydromax or the Focus Max for example, because I think you had a good idea that they were going to be popular.
Yeah, I was confident that was going to work.
But like for other products that you're not like, you think, well, this is really cool and it definitely fills a need and
so
stuff like that.
We do enough business now with certainly two of the manufacturers that I effectively, every time there's a new product, I call in a favour.
Yeah.
And I just say, look, even if I have to speak to the manufacturer, the ingredient manufacturers myself, I need to do 250 of this. Or if I'm confident, I need to do 500.
Yeah.
The original run of cream of rice was 333 bags because that was the minimum hopper size.
Yeah.
333 bags of 5 flavours.
Yeah.
Of a low order, So I tend to call in a favour and do a small run and be ready to move on the second run as quickly as possible. That's not always practical for everybody. And it's. I also think you need to have enough skin in the game for there to be risk.
Yeah.
If any manufacturer is offering to do your runs of 50 or 100 or something, like fucking run a mile.
Yeah.
But that's been our approach now. Is I'm quite cautious. We do trial almost everything. We went fairly hard with the Hydromax right out the gate.
Yeah.
I was pretty sure we trialed it and sampled it enough that we were like, you know what, this is
going to be
this is going to work. The only thing we weren't sure on actually was the labels, and we wanted to move really quickly to printed cans.
Yeah.
But actually, the labels, I like the texture, and they almost give it that like craft feel.
Yeah.
Like, oh, these are small guys, and I want to support them.
Yeah.
And people like that.
Yeah.
The second we go to a printed can, suddenly we're corporate assholes.
Yeah, because it loses the tactile feel. Well, especially for the BJJ crowd, it's why they like it. They can autism stim using the cans. So one thing that you have dug your heels in on ever since I have known you, I think I've only maybe seen you change it maybe once or twice, which I respect you for, by the way, this is not a dig, is that you don't do offers at all.
Well, now that's not even stubbornness. That is, we have a network of over 100 retailers.
Yeah.
We are primarily a B2B business. 80% of our turnover is from other businesses.
Yeah.
The second I do an offer, every shop is going to go, why the fuck should I fucking buy your shit? If you're going to undercut me, you're going to take my margin away. Why the fuck? There needs to be enough margin for the stores to do discount codes for their athletes, for them to do Friday feeling whatever. Yeah. So that's the primary reason for that. I do think brands that are too quick to discount it, it devalues your brand. I do think stuff like Black Friday is incredibly damaging. If I were to establish a brand now, it would be a B2C brand. Yeah. Because you've got so much more margin for the marketing and all the stuff that I'm bad at. Now, with us being a B2B brand, I'm kind of reliant on all of those stores that do their own marketing to help keep us growing. And they do a really good job of that. But getting in those doors was hard. Yeah. We're in those doors now, so we're kind of safe on that. But the other brands that I'm involved with, in fact, I think nearly every other brand that I'm involved with is B2C primarily. Yeah. Because there's more margin. Yeah. I mean, there's more logistics because you have to pack and pick every order yourself. Yeah, yeah. But that's factored into the more margin part.
Have you ever felt pressure to do something like where you think, actually no, always just be, this is just the way it is?
Yeah, like the last Black Friday, everyone went. It was like a month. Yeah. I just ignored it. No. And you know what? On Black Friday, we saw an uptick of about 50%. And I think it's because on Black Friday, people have been holding off, and they get to Black Friday and they're like, well, I just want to spend money. Yeah. He's not doing an offer, but I still need to buy my stuff. Yeah. So, I think Black Friday is this weird thing now where people just want to empty their wallets on Black Friday. Yeah, yeah. So we had a slightly quieter month and then a busy day on Black Friday. We didn't do a single offer.
Is stuff like, LTV, like lifetime value of clients and average order spend, something like that, is it something you track quite closely?
Or not even acronyms that I was aware of until you just said
Okay. I just wondered if it was something that you did.
Keep an eye on basket spend. Yeah. And I keep an eye to recurring customer rate. I think those two are useful. Yeah. I don't really pay attention to the rest. But again, because so much of our business is done through retailers and distributors. Yeah. So my metrics are just a snapshot. Yeah.
If going back now then, if you could travel even back, 5-10 years or something, like knowing that you would become a predominantly B2B business, would you have done anything differently? Would you think, well, actually, if I'd have restructured it now, like if, I know Magic Wand stuff, so I was a bit fucking useless, but...
I think if I had been able to go back to about the time we started to blow up, and I had dug my heels in and been a B2C customer, distributor. No, because I think you rely on the shops to be the unbiased voice of the unbiased opinion that the consumer listens to. Yep. If I was a customer and I went into Power Ups sell quite a bit of our stuff, going to see Liam. Hiya mate, I was looking to buy some Support Max, and I've suddenly started doing just business to consumer. Yeah. Because there was a brand a few years ago, and they just switched off B2B overnight. Yeah. Because they decided they'd just double their margin. Mm. Liam's not going to turn around and go, oh no, you have to buy that from them direct now. He's going to go, oh, I don't stock that, but I stock these two other options.
Yeah, they'll just switch the customer, their loyal customers over.
Yeah.
Is there any change that you would make to the business you think that would benefit you now if you could have made earlier to move to warehousing space, ability to send?
I was really, we were really late to the party of actually operating as a limited company.
Yep.
Because I was stubborn and like being a sole trader.
Yep.
And obviously the longer we left that, the more stuff. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna have to go do that.
Yeah, cool.
Now?
Yeah, it's going to be tight on PV.
I'd get a forklift driver.
Yeah, you get a forklift driver. Right.
Yeah. I have to go deal with this. Maybe I can help you. He's got children.